suddenly out of nowhere, like a coconut comes and hits my face.
So because you're just constantly okay with chaos is why I liked production design.
Girl, right? Like I was raised to be a bahu, ideal bahu.
And then 2 seconds later I'm stepping back and I'm like, oh, but this person did this because this is, and I'm like, shut up. Just like, for me, feeling is so difficult.
First of all, the people who trigger you the most are the ones who are responsible for you to grow the most.
Yeah. Hi everyone, I have Vibha Kulkarni here with me today, and I was trying to understand all the degrees that she has, because you know, जब आप किसी को बहुत सालों से जानते हो, I think we know each other for a decade now, or maybe a little bit more than that.
12.
Yeah, and you never really know what, you know, degrees they've accumulated over the years or what their actual interests are, because Vibha is now a filmmaker and she's come from Los Angeles, so she's kind of living and working there. But she's also a sculptor, she's a poet, she's a performance artist. We were at an ID together, but she was doing new media and I was studying film. And that's how we actually met. So we had a lot of like parallels, and I'm so glad she's here at this point and that she could come here today. Vibha, thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much now that you're going to share your one story. Something that really like stayed with you, something that really either changed you, that you're still like mulling over. So let's get into your one story, Vibha. And for that I've made this like very simple kokum sharbat, जो मैंने last year discover किया. And let's cheers to that.
Cheers.
What is this story that doesn't let you sleep, or like is your go-to to narrate, or like is it something that you're really grappling with right now? I'm now really excited to know.
Okay, so this is not something that I've normally narrated to a lot of people, but it is something that's recurring in my therapy, or it's also been around when I question things like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Like, why did I take the arts as a career? Because as a child I was very, very curious about like stuff, nature and sciencey things and physics. Okay. And I always thought I'm going to end up becoming a scientist or astronaut. That's what I wanted to be. And while I was such a geeky kid, I really liked like even I used to study a lot. Like I was a nerd. That sometimes I wonder, how did my life just take such a drastic turn that I'm in a field that's so creative, that's an industry that's so extroverted, when I'm quite an introvert and, you know, not so social and
also a bunch of those things, like like poetry, you know, and sculpture, like things with your hand, things with your voice, things with your entire body.
And somewhere I also feel like I've done so many whatever degrees or academics also, because that's the geek in me that's really doing that. But when it actually comes to the real world, I just suddenly feel like, okay, then like, am I this film personality, or like what is it that drew me to make this? Because I mean, as storytellers, there's always a reason somewhere why you want to be heard. And it's like that part of you that wants to be seen or heard in a way because you've not been heard elsewhere or something, you know, somewhere you've been silenced or some form. So often when I introspect on that and stuff, and also like certain recurring dreams actually keep bringing back this one childhood memory from my kindergarten, which might seem very silly to be honest, but it takes me back to the first lie that I ever told as a child. I mean, I remember this so clearly because I was this very moral science kid that, you know, jhoot mat bolo, transparent raho, ye wo. I used to be like I used to honor that very sincerely. Like for me, whatever was told by elders was like the word of God, you know.
Same.
Good girl syndrome. Like good girl syndrome. So I was like this really good girl. So in kindergarten we had like these different classrooms that was like segregated based on our uniform. Like we were, so I was the orange class, and there was a blue class, and there was a pink and green, yellow.
We had, I think, flower names and something else.
I mean,
but we also had blue, green, red, yellow, the basics.
The basics. So So I was in orange class, and it was one of these days when, not lunch break, I think उस time पे half day होता था. So it was a break, and everyone was playing in the park. And this is so random, but there was a dead crow, and it was not just dead, it was dead and like ripped apart with like its internal organs almost like sliding out of it. And there was one kid, and it was a girls' school. So there was this one girl who's holding it by the beak and like flinging it around, and she's like running and stuff.
Wow, okay.
And I was really creeped by that. And so I wanted to like warn everybody not to take it. And also I was very imaginative as a kid. So I used to think, okay, you're holding a dead crow, you'll, invite spirits or something. You used to watch Ahat and all that time. So.
It was amazing.
So I was like, oh my God, what is she doing? What is she doing? And I was just running around like crazy. How old was I? I think like 6 maybe.
Oh, okay.
It's kindergarten, like senior KG. So I was running, and not even 6, I think I was 5. I don't know. 5, yeah, 6. And I was just running and screaming. And suddenly, out of nowhere, like a coconut comes and hits my face.
Oh, shit.
It's really funny if I think of it like that in a very animated way.
Yeah.
But it was actually like, मेरे को cut लगा, and I started bleeding. So, and for such a kid, when it started bleeding, I fell, and the teachers immediately, came, carried me, and they're like, okay, call her mom, she needs to go home. So I was crying, and also as a kid, when suddenly so many people come, they're like, kya hua? I was like shocked, but then when I saw blood and all, I started crying. And then when I calmed down, they were like, okay, who did this? I very faintly remember like a blue dress, a blue uniform. So I was like, okay, some girl from the blue class, most likely. And so she, like, the teacher took me to the blue class, and it's like, okay, now identify the girl who did that, who threw it. And
I hope they fixed you before that.
Yeah, they fixed me. My mom was there, and that was just when my mom came to take me home.
Okay.
So whatever. This is like after like jo bhi hai. When I was back, I stopped crying and calmed down. So my mom was there, and I had to go. I just wanted to go home, to be honest. But I was under the pressure of like, okay, who's this girl? Pick. And because I said blue, I was also like, shit, was it really from blue class? Like, and I went into the blue class, and I'm looking at all the girls, and I see that she's not there. Or also I was like, I was not sure if it is her, but I had to pick someone. And they were like, who is it? And I felt so much pressure, and I was like, if I just said that there's nobody from here, I was scared that they would think I'm lying. Because I said blue, and if she's not here. So then, just to honor the word that I said, I was like, okay, I just pointed out at some random girl. I looked in her eyes, and she looked at me, and we both knew that I was lying. And she was just like, I didn't do it. And I was just like, it's her. And the teacher started scolding her, and they pulled her out, and I had an immense amount of grief and guilt. I was walking out, and I was like, oh my God, how could I put someone through this? And while I was walking out, I was just looking at her, and I saw that the teachers called, and she started crying and all. And I remember that, like, we made eye contact when I left, and she was like, she knew that I...
Filmy situation.
And my mom was like, I'm holding my mom's hand, and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
So I was, I remember when I even like got back home, and like even after that, I kept remembering that. I didn't tell anyone that I lied though. And in my head, I was feeling so guilty. I was like, oh my God, I lied. But that was that incident. But after that, that girl, every time, so we were in the same school. So from kindergarten to 10th, I was in the same school.
Okay.
It was a girls' school. And every time that girl encountered me, even till 10th grade, we never became friends. And it would almost be like we wouldn't even make eye contact. Like if she's there, she just... And I wanted to go and say sorry to her for that, but I also thought maybe she's just forgotten about it. maybe she hadn't.
Sometimes, yeah, if the apology doesn't come in time,
Yeah.
uska koi matlab nahi rehta, yeah.
And now we've grown up, and maybe we had like some exchanges with like some faculty member, like asking something. So yeah, there's that. But we never really spoke. Then so that is one side of that. And I had like a small group of friends, like, you know, the lunch table friends and stuff like that. And in my building also, my mom used to take tuitions, and my best friend's mom used to take tuitions and stuff like that. So my neighbor was my best friend. And as we grew, you know, into our teens, like 7th grade, 6th grade and stuff, I had like this little lunch table group of friends. And one of them was... She came from like a very artsy family background, and up until then I was very sciencey nerd kid, and it was all about marks for me, like and not just marks, you know, like those kids who go and sit in for every goddamn exam and like every goddamn quiz and these science projects and this and that. So I was like that. And when she was like the cool kid. She was like the flashy rich kid, and who'd come.
Was she also a mean girl?
She was like a low-key mean girl.
Okay.
In that gang of girls.
And this city is Bombay.
Yeah, this is Bombay.
Okay.
It's all Bombay, Bandra. So she was this very and Bandra also, no, there's a little classism there. So like reclamation is like reclamation.
Cooler.
And no.
No.
It's
okay.
like reclamation.
Oh.
And it's like Pali Hill and Carter Road is all like fancy.
I always thought reclamation because the prices are so high there.
That's after the ceiling came. Okay. But earlier it used to be more closer to the slums, and like it's like, oh, Bandra. So it's like literally, like I've had this kind of classism where I've had like even aunties, you know, who go like bit of where in Bandra, and like reclamation. Acha, we're from Carter Road. So,
and that is so prevalent even today, right? Like,
it is.
I mean, of course, Bombay suburbs and Sobo and all of that battle though is there.
That is there already.
But so you're right, like even in the east and west, the moment you say east for something.
If you say Bandra East, so it's like, where are you from? Bandra. The west, like east.
And then we say, nahi, hum sab barabar hai.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's just bullshit,
So
Bandra
East, so it's like Bandra East is already...
Yeah.
My God, I don't know how I'll be perceived right now, but...
No, but I think these are facts.
No, but these are like...
And also the thing that, you know, when... I mean, I'm not from Bombay, but I've lived here long enough, and I've lived in like various places. And there is a certain stigma to say that, oh, you stay in Daisar, you stay in Borivali. Like, it's
Yeah, there is.
You exist? Do you? Why do you exist?
In fact, you know, like... In LA, okay, there was this Garba place. I mean, this is going a little off track, but there was this Garba place where I'd gone to, and there was this auntie from Bombay who was probably in her 60s. Okay, so she just walked up to me because I was from Bombay, and she's like, I mean, she would say Bombay because she's from the Bombay era, not Mumbai. So she's like, oh, you're from Bombay? I'm like, yeah, I'm from Bombay. So she's like, where? And I said, I'm from Bandra. So she's like, okay. My husband used to live in Ville Parle. I was like, yeah, that's pretty close by. And I was like, and she's like, but I'm from proper Bombay. I was like,
is that a proper Bombay?
What? Ville Parle and Bandra are in proper Bombay. So, I mean, I was like, where in? She's like, yeah, proper Bombay. Proper Bombay. So I was like,
she went down.
Where? So she's like, proper Bombay. Like, Bombay. I was like, yeah, but more specifically, where in proper Bombay?
कि local station कौन सा आता है, train station वो बताओ.
I literally wanted to ask her that, and she's like, yeah, Kolaba.
Just say that, yeah. Okay, she was actually right that I'm from Bombay.
So she's like,
that is Bombay. That's peak bombing.
Yeah. So I was like, acha. And then she just walked off. After saying that, she's like, Kolaba. I was like, my God,
she should have said
like
001 pin code. Yeah, she should have said like 1 pin code.
Yeah.
That's like, actually Fort, I think. It's not Kolaba. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, going back to your story.
So back to that, she was from the posh side of like where all the Bollywood celebrities stay and stuff like that. So everybody was really fascinated. She had like really fancy things when she'd come. Like she had like that sharpener. We used to have like this sharpener, you know, things like that.
Just don't. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then like, you know, all those...
She had the fancy stuff.
The fancy stuff. And so she'd come up every day, she would have like one new fancy thing. Or she'd have like she had like US products and stuff like that. And so she'd also smell like a US product. And we weren't allowed to wear perfume. So we would smell like Nycil. You know,
or what is that? Ashok Vatika shampoo. Also
Vatika shampoo or like
Vatika
that
shampoo I loved.
Ponds.
Really good.
I don't even know why powder lagate the, you know, face pe powder. And like we used to put powder.
So like cakey in Bombay weather.
Yeah, and it would smell like sweat and ponds and like whatever.
Okay.
So basically we were all like that, like, you know. And then you could identify what product you're using, and this smelled like a very, you know, freshly opened US product. Like she would smell like that.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, everybody aspired to that from where we were. Actually, now that I look at it, it was just very basic. It was just normal.
Yeah.
But
because now you live in LA, so it's basic for you.
But I mean, it's like nothing. But
I mean, yeah, of course, it's.
I mean, it's everybong normal.
Sab kuch aa gaya hai India mein. That's the point. But I get it.
In fact, the kids these days, they're like, they have their eyebrows and everything made in 5th grade. So they're like, whatever, social media and stuff. It's a whole different world now. But back then, when we looked like animals with facial hair and stuff, she seemed like a little more groomed.
Yeah.
So what happened is like, but the thing is, it was all fine if she was completely different. But a lot of people felt like we were twins because we looked very similar. Similar height, similar glasses, and she had braces, I didn't. But it was like everything else was like similar smile. And I mean, I wouldn't really say that, but I can understand face structure wise, you know, when you see. Dur say, like my granddad also would get confused. So I didn't know about like Mary-Kate and Ashley, but somebody was like, oh, you guys are like Mary-Kate and Ashley, because I was the nerd and she was the cool kid. So I literally went to National Library and I read all those stories of Mary-Kate and Ashley to just see like, am I really like Mary-Kate? And what happened is like, because of that comparison, I started feeling that everything about me was actually uncool and boring. I wasn't into boys. She was like the favorite of boys. And we lived opposite, my school was opposite a boys' school. Like it's always girls' school, boys' school. And not just one boys' school. There was like 2 boys' school and mine was in the middle. So
lucky.
It was like that. So she literally...
For them. Competition for them, actually. Yeah. I was in a girls' school for 1 year. And then I told my parents, never again in my entire being are you going to subject me to something like this. I'm so sorry. But like I put my foot down and I said, take me back to the normal place. So sorry to everybody listening, watching, who's probably been in like a girls or boys school. But I just found it really bizarre. Because it was bang in like 7th grade. Yeah. So that the first part of my life is like all co-ed. And then after that is all co-ed. And then suddenly like for 1 year, I was like, why are you doing this to me? What have I done? Like, I'm a good girl. Don't punish me. So it was tough for me,
But girls' school can be... I mean, I was always in a girls' school.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the reasons why I still have a hard time with men. Just...
I've heard that a lot,
but,
boys from boys' schools and we have a hard time also, A lot of friends like that.
It's like... Being in a girls' school, she was someone who... And also it was looked down upon to get attention from boys by all the faculty.
Yeah, the
and I was this
90s.
good girl, monitor girl type. So she was someone who got all this male attention. And she had all female attention too, because like everybody was like, you know, gravitating towards her for everything. And
you were feeling cornered and you were feeling left out.
I felt cornered. And it got worse when my best friend started doing the same thing. So she was my best friend, like to a point that, and I was this possessive kid. She was my best friend, but she started gravitating towards her too. And everyone would like she would set the trend and everyone would do that. So she got this pencil box that turns upside down. Everyone went and got it. And things like that. And I was just like, man, nobody finds anything I do cool anymore.
I think middle school is the worst period in a teenager's life. I think
like it's a new teenager, like you're barely 12, 13 and...
I have
You're
some
like on
horrible
this.
memories from that time. Like just
Yeah. So like I used to have like normal birthday parties and my mom used to make idli because I'm South Indian. So she'd make idlis and chips for I don't even know how that worked, but people enjoyed it. And you know, those mini dosas and stuff like that with smileys. And I used to think those things are cool and you'd give return gifts and all that. And for me, I think 13 was the last birthday where my parents were like, you know, now you're grown up, so we should stop this kind of birthday party
Yeah.
celebrations. Whereas hers, 13 birthday was like
Pizza.
grand. Yeah, pizza, grand.
the moment there's someone who throws a pizza party, at least back then, oh god,
It
it's going to be
was-
just about them from that day onwards.
Yes.
It happened with
And
me
it was
also.
a grand party, and it was
Yeah.
like a stayover party and things like that.
Oh, wow.
So that's when, like, you know, those, as a kid, you know, before you're a teenager, you're quite comfortable with yourself. You're happy in your element, you like the things you like, and you don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks of it or not.
Yeah.
But when there's comparison and when you get into this teen, there's this strange, you know, validation need, attention need that comes in.
So many emotions, right? Even like
Yeah.
just jealousy crops up and
Yeah.
you
you
just
start-
feel like you're not enough. And
Yeah, you
I was
start
having the
questioning
worst
yourself.
teenage year. I had
Yeah.
the worst teenage years, the worst kind of rebellion. I was a rebel without a cause. Like, bust, I need to rebel, you know? Like, I don't know what I'm fighting against, but it was just like, no, I just need to,
Yeah.
you know, question this and
Yeah, just
yeah,
just
it's
for the
horrible.
heck of it.
Yeah. And you were going through all of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going through all of these emotions and she's stealing all
Yeah.
the limelight. She's stolen your best friend now. So then what happens?
So that happened and she had all this. So then I started feeling like I'm this really uncool kid. And वो elementary intermediate का drawing exam वगैरह होता था. And that's when I got to know that she actually is from an art background. I happen to be really good at art. Like I could make realistic portraits, and which I didn't even know that I used to get. And so when I started doing that, like I suddenly got attention from her family, and they were like, oh, you know, and the art teacher was like, you should do a career in art. I started gravitating towards her family, started idealizing, wanting to be in this industry, which completely, like, it started affecting my grades. It started affecting, because I felt like being this science nerd kid was uncool. It weirdly formed my new perception of identity. And as I started being more of what I thought I should be or I'm supposed to be in the limelight, to be accepted, to be, you know, all those things, which I felt like me being the science nerd kid, I was just kind of, oh, she's weird, you know. So, and that trying too hard process, I realized that I still have, because it still comes up in therapy, and it's like, what are you really internally? And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like maybe somewhere internally I'm this geek who just wants to study and, you know, sit and research something and hide away from the world. While then the second question is, why do you want to tell stories? Because I feel like silenced and I want to like share with the world. So but the thread that really pulls this together is this whole part of, I mean, I would say the word is like acceptance. And going back to me, that first lie, that also, like, that guilt of having lied that like that, I turned into a people pleaser, and I would like over explain every single thing. And when this person came into my life and she started taking everything away, I was trying to explain myself that, oh, I'm also cool, I'm also this. And I started becoming this people pleaser where I wanted to be accepted by everybody. And I started doing all of that. And even so when I went to Xavier's. So even when I went to, like, the reason I went to that was also somewhere tied to, like, okay, that is the cool thing to do. And you know, actually, ironically, me and that girl, our 10th marks, percentage, dot, even the decimals were exactly the same.
What are you saying?
Yeah. Exactly. Point that. So we both got into both science and arts and whatever. She took arts, I took science. And the whole of my 11th and 12th was about this. Somewhere I felt like it's not even about her anymore. It was more about if I am that, because I was something else and someone could easily replace me. So it mostly became more of, okay, then what do I need to change in me to be accepted?
Yeah, because she was getting
Yeah.
everything and you weren't getting what
Yeah.
you thought you kind of deserved also, probably.
Yeah.
Like you just wanted that attention and you wanted the validation and
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I gravitated more towards art and stuff like that. And it completely changed the course of my life,
Yeah.
which could have been maybe something very different.
Yeah.
But internally I was still this introverted kid. So till today I feel that dissonance in, the way I carry myself, because when I'm out in crowds or like networking events, like, are so anxiety inducing for me. But it took me a while to even get to this point, even why I did so many degrees before doing film was because I needed to feel like I'm ready for it, So while I was doing all of those things, and it just keeps coming back up, this girl played a very significant role in my life. Now back to this one event. So this was when we were sitting and we were having, I think, ninth grade or something. We were sitting and we were having lunch, and out of nowhere we were just sharing some stuff like childhood and things like that, and we were talking about lies. I think it was something to do with lies.
Okay.
And I had to cover up for someone or something, and they were like, why you're such a stuck up person, why can't you lie? I was like, no, because I hurt someone so badly, I just can't lie. It was more from that,
It's the crow incident.
That crow incident.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, what crow incident? And I said that, this happened and someone hit me, and this crow incident happened. And some girl hit me and I didn't know who that girl was. So I had to randomly pick someone. And she was drinking water. She was just like, that girl was me. And I was like, wait, what?
The one who hit you.
Yeah.
Was
and
not
she was
actually
like,
that girl who you thought, you just pinned it on her,
it was
basically.
not that one, but it was actually this girl who's like my
evil twin.
I wouldn't say evil. She's a lovely person.
Okay.
But in my head, she was my she was my replacement, right? Like she replaced me completely in my life. And so she, like, I'm sure she wouldn't even know this, but when she said that it was me, I was just like, what? She's like, yeah, I just thought that girl was the retard. She was running. I thought she's like, something got into her or something. So I just hit because, she just thought she was a retard and she hit, and that was me. And she was laughing about it, and it became like a fun thing. But I felt so, it was just like so jarring. I was like, my God, all my life I've been carrying this, and I blamed someone else.
The guilt, yeah, and the
because
shame
of this person who I'm idealizing. And I couldn't, like, in my head I tried to, like, I wrote a letter to that girl saying sorry, but of course then this changed. This happened in 9th, and then after that, like, it continued and stuff. And it's so strange that every time I have some major life decision to make, this girl shows up in my dream. I'm still in school.
The twin.
I'm still in school, and it's kind of weird, but there's like this fluorescent bathroom, very fancy fluorescent sci-fi bathroom.
And it's the same bathroom every single time.
It's the same bathroom profile every single time, but it's at different places. Sometimes it's in a mall, sometimes it's out on the road, somewhere it is like in some other country, things like that. And she's potty training me.
What?
And it's so random. I don't know if it's inappropriate for this, but that would be the dream. And potty training, like how you potty train dogs, like that kind. And I was like, what is up with my subconscious to bring this up every time I have an important life decision to make? Like when I was deciding whether to go to the US or not.
I think it's that, I don't know, I'm not trying to like find out the meaning or anything, but for me, because I've been also journaling and like I really keep the diary, I think it's kind of like you just like which side of you should be present here, right? Because you saw her take away your identity in a way, and in a way you took her identity, and it was like a case of...
And it's so strange because today in life, I was someone like a typical good girl, right? Like I was raised to be a bahu, ideal bahu types. And I was this good girl. I always thought I'll be like married, I'll have kids, and I'll have like this normal life, whatever thing. And the last thing I ever thought I would be in glamour, because I looked down upon it. I am now into films. I did modeling and stuff and all those things, which was completely the opposite, because I was a Jessie in school, like, you know. And and that girl now has the life that I thought I would have, like married with kids and everything.
Really?
Yeah. And
wow.
I'm kind of living high school now, like, you know, all of those things that I didn't do in high school, actually, I'm doing in my 30s. So that is something that I'm like, I feel like I'm now hitting puberty. Like, now those things are happening to this person who's exactly like me, so opposite to me, and also who found it so easy to just lie, like white lies or whatever it is, which, like, you know, just cover up, just say this, just say that.
Yeah.
It just came very easy, and it's not like she was malintentioned. She was just, I would say, she was actually very confident, you know, and that's a good thing. But as kids, or maybe like whatever, she mastered her insecurities pretty well. But as kids, we often get intimidated by people who are really confident.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what happened. So she was very like, bol dena, just say this or say that. And for me, it was a moral conflict to say a small single lie, especially to an elder. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then she comes back years later, after like kind of, you know, really stirring your internal and external world, so to say. And she tells you, hey, by the way, I hit the coconut. And then she just like disappears into the future. But you have like this lot of baggage to deal with, and a lot of like stuff that I'm sure you're unpacking right now. And also realizing that you're a people pleaser, the fact that, you know, that's probably shaped your adult life also, I'm assuming, because that's also me. So I know that. I understand
overcompensation.
That.
Yeah.
Wow. And then there's the dream, and wow, there's like all the elements for a film here. All the elements. Like there's a inciting incident, and then there's like the act 1 is very strong. Act 2, where it's like,
she was the inciting. I mean, the coconut incident was the inciting incident of my life.
For your life.
Yeah, like it shaped my personality and the reason why I'm a filmmaker. Like, a coconut hit my head.
But you know, I also often wonder, and I think I found this answer in the last couple of years, that I used to do a lot of things in film, right, in pre-production majorly, and I decided that I just want to write, simply because I came upon the conclusion that a lot of those things that I was doing were because I was trying to fulfill, like you're saying, no, those gaps in your, so because you're just constantly okay with chaos is why I liked production design. Not that I'm saying that, not making any comments, but personally for me, what I liked was that it was always like hectic, it was always busy, there was no time to think.
You felt like you were doing something.
I felt like I was doing something, and the best part was like I was building something and then I would like thrash it. There's this video that I've taken where we were throwing these logs of, you know, we had built something and we were throwing it from the 3rd or 4th floor. And I've just recorded that in slow-mo, and that just felt so cathartic to me कि 4 दिन पहले ये set लगा था यहाँ पे, या जितने भी दिन पहले हमने इसको इतने अच्छे से एक, you know, like you build an Ashiana, and you're just like, and that felt therapeutic to me, and I was like, okay, it's time to figure out why I'm feeling like this. This is not normal, you know. I'm sure the people who do it love it for various other reasons, and I'm not saying that production design or art direction is just that, but for me it felt like, you know, I was living in that chaos.
I relate.
And I totally get that. And so what's the plan now? Like what are you, who are you now? Like, are you her? Do you want her life? Do you want your life?
I mean, now, of course, like our lives are completely different, and she's a wonderful human being. Like, she's peacefully living her life and stuff, and she has no clue about all this. And for me, this is like unpacked, and many other elements, right? Like a lot of things that reaffirm certain things. I realized that I don't have to really pick to be this or that, and I'm also this. That's also another thing. I kept feeling that maybe I'm not being myself because I idealized something, but I could also look at it in a way where she probably redirected me to what I was supposed to be.
Yeah. I was also thinking of that when you were talking.
'Cause-
And it's also because post rationalization you realize कि हाँ ये सब इसीलिए हुआ, and you see a pattern, and the dots connect only when you look back, like they say, right? So of course this probably the inciting incident would have been something else, but if your destiny was, and the question to ask is, are you happy doing what you're doing? So if you are, then it's like
absolutely,
you know,
and storytelling has been like a very important aspect of my life, which has also showed me more insight into my own truth. And it's a spiritual journey, right?
It is
and somewhere it feels like even being an artist probably made me more spiritually inclined than I would have been if I was actually in an academic space, questioning everything. And I mean, even as a filmmaker, you're researching and, you know, doing things. So I kind of feel like I think I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And that, I mean, I wouldn't call it a trauma. I would call it my inciting incident. I feel like I have a lot of gratitude for this person in my life.
But it's also that only when you live and all those years pass, like
you can only connect
and the 10th
backwards.
and then the 15th year, and then you kind of make sense of all of it. But it's very true for me also, because I think writing is the first thing that I learned, is the first thing that I loved, forget learned. Reading probably before that, and then writing, so it was all at the same time, and it took me years to commit myself and say that okay, I'm either going to be a writer or I am a writer, you know. It's just that there's so much of other baggage that tells us you're this and you're this, or you could do this, and then there's peer pressure, and then there's you know, but then this is the life that makes sense to me, and this pursuit of finding my answers within. And like you said, like literally similar feeling, that it's also a very spiritual journey. It's also a very lonely journey, in that sense that nobody will ever be a part of, you know, your thoughts and your imagination, and how you connect two things together. And I think there's a beauty in that, and in a world that tells us that to be alone is like you're sad or you're, you know, whatever. I think in a way that's kind of like a good rebellion now. It's a rebellion with a cause for me. The fact that, you know, nobody can reach my thoughts and I can come up with whatever. And it's a very safe space now. But I think also with like, after that entire journey. But how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great right now. Like even sharing the story, and I feel like, you know, every incident in our life that absolutely triggers us in some way, or, you know, has some kind of an impact. Even people. I feel the people that trigger us the most actually help us grow the most.
That's true.
So they're actually blessing, because the people we get along with, of course, they make our life beautiful. But the ones who actually trigger us the most, or, you know, give us the most painful experiences, retrospectively, they actually redirect our lives to be exactly where we're meant to be. And it's always for like a better cause.
It's a conundrum, no? Like you don't know if that didn't happen, would you be here? Would you be sitting here and explaining this story to me? Or even if you'd come to an idea, and even what my journey is and why I came. That's also a fascinating story, but probably some other day. But I mean, would we even be talking about this?
But as filmmakers, it's just one thing. Like I would conclude my experience with is, when we look at it as writers also, when we're just reading or writing our own characters, it's not necessarily like, okay, antagonistic or anything. Everybody has their own needs and everybody has their wants. When you look at all of those things, you see each person's perspective from a very like bird's eye view, and you're like, everyone's justified in what they do. So
this is the worst part of being a human being, Anna.
There's no good or bad. It's like, you know,
the empathy, right? The empathy that I'm literally like, in the moment when I'm feeling something, I'm having an argument, fight, and then 2 seconds later I'm stepping back and I'm like, oh, but this person did this because this is, and I'm like, shut up. Just like, for me, feeling is so difficult. Like just feeling vindicated or hurt or emotional, anything, because instantly you wear the writer's hat or the filmmaker's hat, and you're like, okay, let's now try to dissect why they're doing this.
Why they're doing this, okay, and that's justified, okay. You know?
It's a crazy thing to be, is it good, is it not good? So, Vibha, when you say that you're living your high school life now, what does that mean? Like, what are you doing in your life that you're, probably what you couldn't do then, what was it?
So, I mean, in the sense, like I said that I was a nerd in high school. I restricted myself so much, like self-imposed restrictions in many different ways, to a point that it even internalized in my body that certain things are like black and white, right and wrong, right? So that was one side of me. But there was an also other side that was aspiring for certain things like popularity and stuff. So some of those things are also like influenced by how she was in high school and how she got all those things. So one very silly thing would be like, this is silly, but it's like, um, she had braces in school.
Okay.
And the only difference between me and her was that I didn't have braces and she had. And so I felt that just because I didn't have braces, there's a part of me that's not fixed, because of which I don't have all the things she does.
Ouch.
And in my 20s, कुछ तो मतलब बहाना ढूंढ के I wanted braces so badly. My parents were against it. The dentist himself was against it. He was like, see, you might regret this later. I got a dental treatment in my 20s, like early 20s, which because I was in Bangalore and Mumbai, whatever, it didn't really go well. Then I had to get braces again when I was in NID. But the first time I got
remember.
braces, the first time I got braces, I had the option to have like other kinds of braces, but I got the traditional ones, like how she had in school. Oh, to show that I do have braces. Like, I didn't want to hide that I had braces. So it's so weird. But, there was a point when my mom literally said that I think you're copying her and you want to do everything that she did. And I outright rejected. I was like, what nonsense? No. But somewhere that triggered in me somewhere, because I felt like I was idealizing aspects of her. I didn't realize that actually I was going down the same path. Because I had my version also in me, right? Like, which was like resisting
and
that.
Somewhere probably that version of you, I mean, this part of you or this part of you didn't need fixing, right?
Yeah.
But you just told yourself that you need this
fixing
because you were looking at her and you're like, okay, I need to emulate what she had.
She had. So one was that, and then like till today, that braces haunts me because I still have these that internal retainers, which I have to, every time I come here also, the first thing I have to go is for a dental appointment. And literally just yesterday I went to my orthodontist and he was like, if you don't want your teeth to move, you'll have to wear these permanent retainers for the rest of your life till you lose your teeth. And I was like, this is the worst decision of my life. Why did I do this?
Oh God, that must be heavy to accept.
Yeah. And it's like a constant reminder because it's in my mouth.
Yeah, it's right here. It's like this part of, the very visible face, the very pretty, beautiful face, also, touch wood.
So that is something. And high school life, in the sense, like I was very unglamorous in high school. I didn't give much importance to vanity. One of that is still now. Like, I just can't grow my nails. Because in school, if the white of the nail was seen, as a monitor, we had to cut it with scissors. Which is traumatizing.
I remember that. It's really bad.
So I always had my nails. So that is something, that's like the internal me, however glamorous things get, like every time I get gel nails or something, I feel so uncomfortable. I was like, oh, this is not my hands. So that is the internal me. But the wannabe other side is so much in conflict. Like the school kid version was very superficial level, like, that it was more dikhave ke liye. And the actual me internally had these high principles of, because that is the overcompensating good girl people pleasing side. Okay, though I was in art and design school, I had no vices. I mean, I would never drink, no smoking, everything else, And even though I was around and hanging out, no judgment also, but internally I was like, not even, it's like I'm a vegetarian. I don't even get tempted to eat non-veg, right? Just like that, internally, there was just this strong guard that I never went. That was like the uncool version of me that I would always judge. And I would also even beat myself up over it. I'm like, why can't I drink? Why can't I? Because I just felt like, that's one of the reasons why I'm not able to,
you're not cool, or you're not
cool,
like
or not able to fitting in and stuff like that. But my body only would reject it. At the same time, even like, I used to look down upon male attention in high school. And throughout my 20s, I feel like it was at a very superficial level. In the sense, like, I the internal me always thought I'm going to get married and have kids by 30. So I saved myself and I was like, nay, be guarded and put. I feel like I was very restrained. Like I would, um, it was, even if I dated someone, it was more like socially dating them. If you get what I mean, like people would think, yeah, I'm with them and stuff. But internally, I feel like वो connect नहीं होता था. I
And
was not able to be
especially-
vulnerable.
Yeah, and especially because of the image that arts generally has out
Has,
there, right?
yeah.
Like it's just assumed that design school है या art school है तो ये सब तो normal होगा.
ये सब तो normal
ये सब तो
होगा,
रोज
yeah.
करते होगे तुम लोग. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's just like I've heard that so many times, and it's
Exactly.
tough to explain that. Yeah, that's not your reality because you're fighting all of these internal battles.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which nobody actually realizes, right? That you have so much going on when you're actually making those decisions.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's so weird, because I think like in my 20s, I got so much male attention that internally I was conflicted too about that. One side of me would always fight that attention with overcompensation. Overcompensation in the sense like if somebody is interested in me, I would go outright to make it clear to them that I'm not interested. And I didn't have to take that. I could just avoid and, but man, they don't get no for an answer. They don't take no for an answer. They think it's try again later. So either that or I would be in peer pressure relationships or stuff
Yeah.
where I was trying so hard to be something that I felt like I was not. And that emotionally just tore me, in a way. I was trying to be this person I was supposed to be. And the people that I was attracted to also, very weirdly, would be those who were trying to reinforce the restrictions upon me that I myself was,
Wow.
and judging me
Yeah,
on those
yeah,
things. So it's very interesting how I was really contradictory to that. And I thought, but what happened is after I turned 30, like around turning 30, she got like married. And I was not constantly in touch with her or something, but I saw she got married. It's so strange, but it somewhere felt like I got the permission to, like it freed me in a very weird way. But at the same time, I was just like, for what?
Freed you
Why?
in what way?
In the sense, like till 30, I felt like I was trying to be something. And two sides, like one is this people-pleasing person, and the other side, I've constantly felt like I'm not getting acceptance and stuff, because of which I was trying to be the cool kid. When I turned 30, I was suddenly like, why am I torn between this cool kid and this sciencey nerd version of me? Like, why can't I just coexist and do what I want to do? Why do I need to care about how this is really turning out? Because everything else was around like getting approval, right? I'm like, have I sought my own approval in this entire process? And I was measuring everything against a yardstick of somebody who's not even connected to my life in any way. And just because I was compared at some time in my life, like now we are completely different and completely different lives, somewhere it just felt strange. I was like, she had fun all her life. Like she had fun in her high school, and now she's living the life like she's supposed to live. That's like socially, right? And for me, I was like, I was a nerd in high school, but that led to nothing. Am I a scientist? Am I a Bonvita Kid contest winner? No. Did I become an astronaut? No.
Damn.
The nerd went waste. ठीक है? I saved myself. I was like this ideal bahu version. Did I get married? No. So I was like, ये सब मैं जो कर रही हूँ, उसका कुछ फायदा तो नहीं, स्टोरीज मिल रही है, तो दैट्स डिफरेंट, बट उससे
But you have the degrees also. You're forgetting the degrees.
ओ द डिग्रीज, ओ माय गॉड, वो डिग्रीज वो नर्ड मी के लिए ही है. लाइक डिग्रीज लेके उसका भी क्या, लाइक स्कल्पचर का डिग्री किया. आई मीन ऑफ कोर्स आई वुड डू इट एट सम पॉइंट, बट इट वाज ऑल लाइक ट्राइंग टू शो मी एविडेंस दैट यू आर डूइंग दिस, यू आर डूइंग दिस, यू आर डूइंग दिस. कुछ खाली नहीं जा रहा है. बट यार इतना सब कुछ मैंने लिया प्रूव करने के लिए, but what was the point, right?
Yeah.
It's ultimately all about accepting, and
Because she was having fun all along. Like she had, and she,
Yeah.
sorry, not having fun, but I think she was doing things for herself probably. She may have her own complexes, but
or actually, who knows? Because it's
Yeah.
again a projected version of me,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't even know what's happening in her
in
life,
her life,
and her
yeah.
own
And if she's
challenges
happy and if like what she's
was
chosen is the correct
exactly
thing.
and like her joys. And Instagram is a lie, you know. Like we all put curated happy moments of us on Instagram. So when we view other people also, we feel like they have their
Yeah, they have
perfect
it
lives. In the
together.
same way, if they view me, it's like just like how you gave my intro, and I'm like, oh my god, like what is she saying? Because to me, it's a completely different way of looking at it. Like you don't. But I would be like, oh, you know, Akkta's doing this, and you know, she's peaceful, and she knows exactly what she wants. That's why she's not scattered all over the place. But that's a
Barely.
projection, right? Like we,
Barely. That's again just a very big lie.
so we think like that. We think
I
that
know,
like
yeah.
everyone
It's
has
tough
it
to get into
together.
somebody else's psyche, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that made you feel very angry, did it? Like the
So
fact that she got married and she got the life that you had always probably idolized also in a way.
In a way, actually, anger was not towards her, it was towards me, but it also freed me. Like, I was just like, what the hell do you want? Like, why did you do all of this? One side was that to prove, and that proving also was just because as a child, I learned that if I'm like that, then I will be accepted. But through that entire experience, and after I was like, what was it that actually she did? It's not any of those superficial external things. It was more about her accepting herself and doing what made her happy.
Yeah.
And that's what she always did.
Did you have a wild run after that? Like
So then I
wild
was like,
Vibha unleashed?
my God. Wild run? Not really. I'm still, I think, in that zone where I'm still like accepting, and I'm like, but still, a lot of things which I was restraining myself from,
Yeah.
which did naturally, like certain things like drinking and stuff. I'm like, I don't know if it's internalized in my body that I'm automatically averse
Yeah, it
to
just doesn't suit some people.
just doesn't
so that's,
suit me.
Yeah.
But like other things, you know, just generally looking at relationships also from a perspective where what is it that makes me happy?
Yeah.
What is it that I want? Instead of judging myself, instead of trying to be this popular person, what am I bringing into this relationship, and what am I getting out of that? Or
Yeah.
what is it that I want in my life generally? Like, and again, the good thing is, I always wanted to be a wife and mother and all those things as a kid. But those were all again projected, right? Because
Yeah, that was like coming from one side of the conditioning.
Conditioning.
And then her trying to be in
Yeah.
your life is breaking that
It broke
conditioning
that
to
conditioning, though she went and did the same thing.
Yeah.
But to me, and I'm not saying it might not happen tomorrow or something, I don't know. But just the fact that I realized that that's not happening, I just felt like, yeah, what did I do all this for? The fact that I did not end up doing any of that also showed me that now I can reevaluate whether I really want that. And if I now really want that, it's not from a perspective of it's a socially accepted perfect life.
Yeah.
It's more from the perspective of maybe I want companionship, or
you
it's
can
coming
define
from that
it. You
space. I
have
can
the power
define
to
it.
define it, and it's in that way that's
So,
absolutely wonderful that it freed you. The
It
fact
freed
that-
me in
yeah.
a way, and it gave me, and it helped me integrate all these aspects of me that came from, you know, scattered places. But I feel like that was a very important part of that. I haven't had that potty training dream
In a while.
in a while, but I had it in all the major decisions. Even till I went to LA and stuff, I had it. So maybe somewhere a part of that has gotten integrated.
And so how do you feel? Like what are you feeling inside the dream? So you have this like bathroom and then you're saying it's all neon. And
Yeah.
then she's training you.
Yeah, so she's training me how to sit on it, like, and it's very strange.
Yeah.
And it's a neon Indian toilet. I can't.
That just makes it better for some reason.
It's a neon Indian toilet at a high rise, like it's like ting ting ting, you know, at a high
Okay.
position. And
And you're like a child, you're a teenager, you're yourself right now, or is it different versions?
I don't even know. I feel like a dog, but I don't know. Maybe
You don't see yourself, so it's like a.
I don't really
it's from
see
your point
myself,
of
but I
view.
feel more like a dog than a human being.
Wow.
That's really weird, but it's like, and I'm trying to see that, and
And what do you
just
think
often,
this dream is about? Like, have you thought about it? Asked
it's kind of
somebody?
like civilizing, right? In the sense, why do we potty train pets? To civilize them from their raw selves. I feel like this version of me, I wouldn't say her anymore, because I feel like that dream is a representation of that version of me. I feel like that version of me wants me to be this polished whatever thing. And a lot of that also came like even before going to LA and stuff. I was just like, we have this image na कि America जाके it's like, oh, all luxurious and it's so glamorous and stuff. I had a friend recently who was like how can LA be unglamorous? I was just like, well, I'm living the most unglamorous life that you can imagine. Like, how can LA be
Anyway,
unglamorous?
if you're
I'm
on the
like,
other side of filmmaking, that life is so unglamorous. Like, I have to just
absolutely.
like try to tell people in my life, and they're just like, no, but you meet. I'm like, yeah, but everybody's life is not glamorous. Like, it's just even
Yeah.
the actors. Yeah, look at
Yeah,
the
it's
working
not. It's
hours
just
and
a
the kind of hard
superficial
work they
aspect.
do.
Nobody
Yeah,
looks at the
no,
back
it's
end of
just what they're
things.
looking, and it's the
Yeah.
final product, and they don't realize the the years, the amount of pain and whatever. It's the
Yeah.
biggest farce I feel that this industry is. Is it about glamour? Maybe. Is it
Yeah.
glamorous? Not
It's
at
not.
all.
It's
And
not.
not for anybody. Not for anybody.
Yeah.
Seriously, none of us can ever claim that. So yeah, I mean that's
Yeah. So I realized that, especially after going to LA, I realized that that potty training part, right? Like, before going to LA, you want to be so like this, I don't know, westernized version of you and things like that. I feel like, in fact, I felt like I could embrace my side of culture and my side of everything also once I went there, because I realized that why should I be ashamed of who I am?
yeah.
And it's very strange, but here we aspire to be the West and we kind of like look down upon what we bring and what we are also. Once I went there, I realized that, I mean, again, this is not about LA or anything. It's more about the ideas that I had about certain things and how those things really are.
Yeah.
I think it all comes down to acceptance. And the more we hold ourselves to something, and that happens
True.
a lot here because we are raised with comparison. Ke usko dekho, uski beti, ye, all that.
Sharma ji ka beta.
Yeah, that's very like, oh, so and so is doing this.
Yeah.
Even now, like literally, I just recently went to Bangalore, and like even now when I meet people or even like someone's maid or something, they're like, oh, you're still not married, like why?
Yeah.
Not even, oh, you're still, it's like, why are you not married?
Yeah,
Like
something
कुछ
wrong with
problem
you.
hai, that kind of a way. So that it's just that there's a certain ABC of life that is expected of us here. And when you make a bold choice to um, not negate that necessarily, but to become more self-aware in terms of making that a choice rather than a duty that has to be fulfilled. I think it is harder, but somewhere it's more like, I know that if I get into something, I'm going to do it a little more consciously also, in a
Yeah.
way that perhaps I might not like. I think regardless of how things have unfolded, and especially when I had that moment of, like, what the hell was all this about? If someone could live a completely happy life and be a completely not necessarily this nerd kid in school and still have a decent life, whereas I'm still like running, finding myself kind of a way. But when I had that moment, it was also like, why? Like, why did I have to do all that? And there's nothing wrong in it. But in this process, there's so many versions of me that I discovered
Yeah.
that I wouldn't regret a single moment. And yeah, it all comes back to the same things, like, whatever triggers us the most, we learn that.
So I think the point is, Vibha, that हम सबके बहुत सारे versions हैं, right? And the only person who's ever going to see all those versions of ourselves and know about them is ourselves, right? और कोई नहीं है जिसको आप समझा सकते हो, बता सकते हो, जैसे you shared this story today. But I think we have to be at peace with ourselves, and to be at peace with ourselves, what I've learned is, at least from your sharing this today and, you know, like the entire emotional space you took us into, is that through your one story, basically, is that you've got to do what brings you happiness, yeah. You've got to do what, you've got to live for yourself.
Or accept yourself.
Acceptance like comes first, and then you start doing things after that. So I guess it's time to make a pact that need your hand, yes, like this, we can hold it, and that we're going to live for ourselves. And you out there who are listening to this one story by Vibha, this is for you also, that you can do it. You got this, right? Wherever you are in life right now, from Bombay to LA, anywhere in between, we are making this pact together, and you're making it with us right now, that you're going to live for yourself. And before that, you're going to accept, or at least you're going to try and accept all those versions of yourselves that exist in the past, in the future, today, right? Like Vibha is trying, and like I'm very inspired to do, listening to her today. वो सब आप ही हैं, and सब figure out हो जाएगा. Trust me on that. Like we may be in the in between right now. आज नहीं पता चलेगा, आज शाम को भी नहीं पता चलेगा. But कभी किसी दिन when you look back, the dots will connect and the milestones will line up, and you will really find your one story, like Vibha shared hers today. So thank you so much. Signing off. Bye bye. यार आई एम इम्प्रेस्ड. अगर आप यहाँ तक पहुँच गए और मुझे अभी सुन पा रहे हैं, इसका मतलब आपने पूरा एपिसोड अच्छे से सुना और देखा है. एंड अगर ये कर ही लिया है, अगर अच्छा लगा हो तो प्लीज़ लाइक बटन पे एक क्लिक कर दीजिए. एंड अगर ये एपिसोड सुनते हुए आपको किसी की भी याद आई हो, या यू नो किसी दोस्त की आपको ऐसा लगा हो कि ये स्टोरी, ये वन स्टोरी उसके लिए बहुत ही ज़्यादा यू नो रिलेटेबल होगी, तो प्लीज़ उसके साथ शेयर करो. और अगर ये दोनों काम कर रहे हो तो यार फिर तो सब्सक्राइब कर ही लो. वन स्टोरी विद अक्ता पंवार. थैंक यू.